Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast talking about GHOSTSHIP. Yes, what's GHOSTSHIP, I hear you ask? Is it a Doctor Who story? No, it's not. It's Blake 7. GHOSTSHIP is Series 2, Story number 4 of, I believe, will be a 6-story thing. So why am I reviewing it out of order? I'm reviewing it out of order because, well, this is the latest one to come out. And they're apparently a bit random. Except, of course, I now think that they're not. So I'm going to go back to the beginning of Series 2 next, and then start in order, perhaps. Now, what is GHOSTSHIP about? Well, for those of you who are interested in this sort of thing, you've got your standard-ish cast. And apparently, someone's gone missing. I don't want to spoil anything, but one of the crew is not in this particular series. This is the initial alarm bell that made me go, I think we need to go back and listen to the whole of Series 2 from the start. But I'd already listened to this story on this one-disc marvellousness and been blown away. So let's read the synopsis. Vila is scared. Of course he is. Vila is always scared. He should feel safe. He's on board the Liberator, the most powerful ship ever constructed. He's home, but he's certainly not alone. Ghostly figures stalk the corridors of the Liberator, spectres who know Vila's name. The Revenants, demons, and Vila has nowhere to run. It's been written by Iain McLaughlin and directed, like most of this series, by Lisa Bowerman. Lisa is a great director. Now, I'm not being swung by the fact that I've met the woman and she's just brilliant, but all of her work has been uniformly very, very good, and this is no exception. Now, basically, it does what it says on the tin. GHOSTSHIP, it's a ghost story, but it's also set firmly in the Blake 7 universe, a sci-fi universe. So we're fairly on, let's call it safe ground here, because I think, it is pretty safe ground. CD, $10.99, download $8.99, but what's it like? Now, personally, Vila is my all-time favourite Blake 7 character. Everyone likes Avon, especially women of a certain age, or indeed gentlemen, if memory serves, and Blake's just, the title character. Everyone else is fab. Callie's great. I've always had a soft spot for nearly everyone, but for me, as a child, growing up watching this when I was 10, Vila was the character who spoke directly to me. He was a coward, but not that much of a coward, and it just worked. He was a locksmith, a genius, perhaps the most intelligent person on board the ship, but he also had an overdeveloped sense of self-preservation. Avon always knew that Vila was more intelligent than he ever let on, and that was something that made me very happy to watch. And it might have affected my psyche in ways that were less than, sensible. But let's not go there. This isn't some sort of session. This is a review of GHOSTSHIP. The basic plot is they're looking for their missing member of the crew, and they've followed one of the leads. The lead has taken them to deal with a crime syndicate, and they're meeting on a world that was abandoned. Abandoned because it was full of ghosts. It also is a low-gravity world, so everyone's particularly strong there. So, off they trot to this world. Vila not happy, because everyone abandoned this world because of the ghosts, because of the interference, because it was just, less than good. They've arrived, and the crew have beamed down, leaving Vila alone on duty. And that was one of the beauties of this story, because if you listen to the extras, something that's fairly obvious is just discussed. You've got your basic storyline of every Blake 7 episode where the whole crew beam down to the world and they do the investigating and somebody stays on board. Every so often it's Orac, which is not always a good idea. So often it's the member of staff. Now, in the olden days, that would have been when somebody went off for a holiday, but not in these days. So what they wanted to do was take the narrative structure of that and twist it round. do a nice twist. And on that turnaround, you've got the whole plot. You've got Vila alone, my favourite character, on board the Liberator with Orac and Zen, obviously, and the ghosts. It's a lovely setup, but you can't put all your cards on the table straight off, because the minute you go, "Ugh," everyone just goes, no. You've got to build the suspense, the atmosphere, the characterisation. You've got to build everything. Now, luckily, Vila was always a character who talked to himself. He always kept things going, and that's what makes this story work. Michael Keating's performance is sterling. You cannot fault this man. He would be a brilliant voiceover man, and the fact that he hasn't been in practically everything ever is just a crime. I don't want to spoil it beyond that. Suffice to say that this is a sci-fi story, and any explanations are, well, perfectly accessible. And so I'll play the trailer and let you decide how truly atmospheric this is. So until next time, when I'll be back, probably talking about Doctor Who, or maybe Blake 7. Be seeing you.
Where are we actually going?
Loreudon.
Loreudon has a terrible reputation.
It's a story they use to scare kids. A haunted planet.
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions.
What now?
Shh, quiet.
Darren, where's it coming from?
Another dimension?
Orac, there's something on the Liberator.
We see you.
There's no one there. The blasts are coming from thin air. I've never seen anything like it. Leave me alone. I'm not listening!
You think because you know this shit you can hide.
Avon, what's our next move?
Grant!
Blake 7. Ghost Ship.
Do me a favour and shut up!
Big Finish. We love stories.
Avon?
A quick kill is the only answer.
Don't.
You've been listening to the Tin Dog Podcast, available on RSS, iTunes, Stitcher, Audio Boom and Tumblr. Doctor Who and its associated works are copyright of the BBC. No infringement is intended. You can contact the show, donate, buy merchandise or find out more about my other projects by visiting the Tin Dog Podcast homepage and clicking on the links. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.